Have you ever known something was wrong? Like your body was screaming at you that something was off, but instead of speaking up, you talked yourself out of it. You told yourself you were being too fussy, too much, too sensitive. And then later you realised, no, you were right. Your gut was right the whole time. If that's you, and especially if you have ADHD, this video is going to explain exactly what's going on inside your body when this happens. Because it's not you being dramatic, it's your nervous system, your brain, and something called rejection sensitivity disorder all fighting each other at the same time. So, hi, if you've not met me before, I'm Mercedes. I am a somatic healing practitioner. I'm a yoga teacher, all sorts of other things as well. And I myself am late diagnosed ADHD. And discovering that I've been living with RSD for a very long time. And so this is something that literally, I want to share with you, is something that literally happened to me very recently, and the story that was going on in my head, and I will share that with you during this video. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand three things. One, why your ADHD brain actually makes your intuition stronger, not weaker. Two, how to tell the difference between your gut instinct and your rejection sensitivity talking. And three, what to actually do when both are firing at the same time so you can respond from a calm, clear place instead of spiraling. So in this video, what I'm going to cover is how your right brain, your left brain, and your nervous system are all playing different roles when this happens. So I'll share a real situation where this played out for me, and then I'll give you a simple body first practice you can use next time you feel that pull between something's wrong and I'm just being too much. So let's get to the ADHD, nervous system, and all of that. So when you have ADHD, I find personally, from my experience, that your nervous system is tuned up higher than other people's. So you pick up on cues that other people miss completely. Your body will register shifts in tone, energy, micro expressions, and things that feel invisible to neurotypical people. It's why people with ADHD are often told that they have a BS filter, they can just do a BS detector, so they can just pick it up really, really easily, and they can tell when someone's off. And I think it's because our nervous systems are much more highly tuned, and we can easily see that as a flaw, but it's not. It's actually our nervous systems doing our jobs really brilliantly and really well for us. But it also means that we can feel things more intensely, and that intensity can be really, really confusing. And we can often seem like a bit of an outlier to people who are don't have that highly tuned nervous system. They won't understand why we're responding in the way that we're responding. And what it means is that when something is off with someone, like a coach, a friend, a colleague, or something, your body knows before your brain has figured it out. And so the dysregulation starts, you feel wrong, you feel unsettled, you feel activated, and sometimes you don't always realize exactly why. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about the right brain, and this is your body's ally. Right, and a lot of this that I'm sharing with you is my own personal theory on the matter based on what I know from the nervous system and neuroscience that is fact, and then my own personal interpretation. So the right side of the brain is the one that tunes in with the nervous system and the body, and that's how I see it. It's very much not really so much of the thinking, it's the processing part of the brain. And it's where the intuition lives. It's where we get a lot of our intuitive insights from. And it's the felt sense, the gut knowing. And so that's kind of like one of the things that they're discussing in neuroscience is where people have a really strong sense of intuition. Could it be coming from the right side of the brain? So when you feel something's not right, that's the right brain as well, picking up on what your body is telling you. And it's allowing you to experience the feelings it's tuning into. And this part is trustworthy, and this is the signal. The problem isn't the signal. The problem is what's going to happen next. And this is where the left brain comes in. Now, the left brain will receive the signal from the right brain. We don't feel right today. And then it does what it always does. It creates a story to explain a feeling. And the left brain is very renowned for making up stuff. And there have been experiments of people with epilepsy who have had, because the right and the left side of the brain connect, they've had the connection cut, and then they've been instructed to do something, but they don't really know why. And then the left brain has constructed a really elaborate story as to why they've done something. It's complete nonsense. The left brain just creates stories. That's what it does. And it makes the story sound really reasonable, and that can make it very dangerous. So it can pull from your history. So if you have something like ADHD, you may have been criticized a hell of a lot more than neurotypical people because you've been told you're too much, you're too loud, you're too noisy, you're too fussy, you're too this, you're too that, constantly. And so what happens is we feel these dysregulated off feelings, and our brain goes, that's you. That's you being too fussy. That's you making too much of a fuss. It's something you've done wrong, and it must be wrong. And if I say anything about this person that I feel is off, which my gut instinct is telling me, then people are going to think there's something wrong with you. So just keep your mouth shut. Because your left brain is like a narrator. It's making up all the stories. It's not just a narrator, it's a storyteller, but it's the narrator as well. And like I said, often these stories are complete nonsense. And this is where the RSD, the rejection sensitivity, can kick in and amplify everything. Because the rejection sensitivity will take the narrator's story and it dials it up to 100. So now you're not just unsure, you're convinced that you're wrong, you're too much, and you're about to be rejected, and it's going to look really bad. So let me tell you my story, okay, so you can understand how this all comes in. So I was working with somebody, and I had paid for a service that I was expecting, and I wasn't really getting what I was expecting. And I was feeling like the person was a bit kind of like flaking out on me and not really giving me what I wanted. And I was feeling like I wanted to speak up and say, look, do you know what, can I just have a refund and we can cut our losses? And then before I spoke up, I was like, oh my goodness, no, they're going to think really badly of you. And they're going to start telling people what an awful person you are to ask for a refund. And that was kind of like what went through my head. And I became very conscious of the fact that actually what was happening was my nervous system was detecting that there was something off with the treatment that I was getting. But because asking for a refund feels like I'm doing something out of order to somebody, that I'm being mean, that maybe I'm not being nice, because of RSD and it goes with the ADHD and everything, and my nervous system feeling off, it was like, well, actually, maybe it's off because you know that you're just being out of order and you're doing this wrong, and maybe you shouldn't, because if you speak up, then it's going to be wrong. And so that's kind of like what can happen. And that's where it can be really challenging, because my gut instinct was telling me that this situation was wrong. And that so my nervous system was dysregulated and it was signaling danger, but my RSD was kicking in, and I was struggling to raise it. I was struggling to speak my truth. I was struggling to ask what I needed for. And the narrator was confirming that the RSD was right. Yeah, it's because you're too much. Maybe you should just pipe down and just deal with it. And I could feel that pull between body knowing and brain overriding. And that's kind of the collision point between intuition and RSD and the narrator. So we kind of all come together, and it's like this battle of wills, if you want. So what do you actually do about it, and how did I do about it? Because when this happens, when you're caught in the something's wrong and I'm being too much kind of thing, here's what you can do. So step one is to notice the story starting. So when the narratives begin, I'm too much, I'm too fussy, I'll look bad, just notice them. Don't argue with them. Don't get into that argument, because you will lose the left brain every single time. Don't engage, just be aware of it. Oh, my narrator's off again. And then drop into your body. So check in with what's actually happening in your body right now. Is there tightness, heat, contraction, shakiness? Just feel it. Is the body dysregulated? Because that's all information, and that's the signal, not the story. So just tuning into the signal, what's happening in my body. And then if you are dysregulated, which chances are you are with all this stuff going on, just calm the body down, to regulate. So slow breathing. So have your feet on the floor, maybe hands on the chest, and inhale. And a long, slow exhale through the mouth. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. And we'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. When you do that, slowing the exhale, lengthening the exhale, it's important to know that your only job in that moment is to quiet down the narrator by calming the nervous system. You're not trying to figure it all out, you're just calming. And then you can reassess from a calm place. So once you're calm and the body is calmer, the narrator will actually naturally just quieten down because it's not got this like panic story going on. And then you can begin to think rationally because the thinking part of the brain's coming back online and not the noise. And from this place, you can assess, is this my intuition? Is this my RSD? Or is this something else entirely? And you can't answer that question from a dysregulated state, so you need to calm first. And you can't think your way through this, because that's what happens. We try and think our way through, and then we get stuck in that thinking loop, which is really common with ADHD. So we start thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and we get stuck in that loop. So you have to calm your way through it first, body first, and then brain always. So if this video has resonated with you, please like and subscribe, because it genuinely helps me reach more people who need to hear this stuff. And if you want to go deeper into nervous system regulation, somatic healing, and figuring out how your ADHD brain actually works with your body instead of against it, I have a free community on School called the Somatic Reset Lab. The link is in the description below, and I would love to see you on the inside.